We're rolling.
Rolling. We got to...
Yeah, it's breakfast time. It's early morning here at the Eugene airport after the Mountain Time Zone tour. We did come up, and as Andy promised, we found Hobo Danny, which was a treasure.
Yeah.
As you'll see, how long? Give us a backstory on Hobo Danny.
I was at the time I was trimming flowers, and I would go with clippers in my pocket to places, and then I would see like a lilac or something. And
around your house?
Trimming other people's flowers.
Trimming other.
I knew there was.
So I was by the post office, and I saw maybe some something I wanted to add to my bouquet. So I got out of my car, walked discreetly. I act like I'm just walking until I get to the flower bush, pull the pruners out, clip and go. I'm never in anybody's yard very long. While I was clipping flowers across the street, where this church is, this guy yells at me, "Hey!" And then I'm like, I'm freaked out because I'm technically doing something.
Lilac police.
Yeah. You can't do that. That's a smash and grab or whatever. Flower smash and grab. So this guy yells at me, and I go, "What?" And I start walking off, nervous, and then I see it's a bum, a guy who looks like he lives outdoors, and Danny goes, "Hey."
You don't have to pretty that up. They're gonna see the footage.
And Danny goes, "Hey, are you Andy Andrews from across the street?" And I go, "Well, fuck, now I'm being made, I'm stealing flowers," and this guy identified me, and I go, "Do I know you?" And he goes, "No, but I've always wanted to meet you. I knew you lived in South Eugene." And then, the more I would run into him, the more...
Wait, was he a fan of the podcast before, and that's how he recognized me?
Yeah, he knew me, and then when I said, "What?" And then he recognized me from my voice as well, but he saw me over there slouching, stealing flowers from somebody, and that's when I first met him, and then I'd always see him around. He got a cat at some point, so he's very recognizable in the community because he's the only guy.
The same cat that he had.
Yeah. He's
life.
One morning I was walking up to my driveway. I think it was in the Cancer or whatever, and out of the fog coming down the hill, I was like, "Is that fucking Danny?" And he was like, "I can't find my cat." And he was looking for his cat.
Pause during the announcements. I don't know how good the audio is on this. And I've noticed Andy and Bingo like to talk really loud in the car over the fucking GPS that's telling her where to go. Like she's interrupting the driver. Anyway.
Well, when you have two women in the car, it can be chaos.
All right, so we pull up on Danny, and it didn't take long. Andy knows he tracked him like a fucking
I know his spot.
Indian scout.
And then it was funny, I kicked that can over and said, "Here's 10 cents, just joking," but then within minutes it was blow-torched in two pieces, and the guy was painting half of it, and and there was it was a crew of 3. So we got to work Danny's corner a little bit. Danny told us some of the tricks of the trade and some amusing stories about molestation.
Well, here, get into us pulling up on him. Because you were behind.
Oh, right. I stayed in the car, and then Doug got out, and Danny immediately recognized Bingo and Doug, but had no idea they were going to...
God damn!
It was so exciting.
Yeah.
I was amazed at how much he knew about the podcast. Like, he was quoting, like he was doing Margot and doing the voice. I love Margot.
I love Margot. Podcast. Oh, yeah.
Brilliant.
Margot.
He knew everything about Bisbee.
Yeah. Who's the guy with the propane thing?
Becker.
Becker, yeah. Oh, Becker, yeah.
There was an episode of the Andy Griffith Show where this guy shows up in town and seems to know everybody, and then it freaks him out. They're like, "How?" And he just read the paper and wanted to be a part of them so bad that he freaked him out, and they turned on him. But Danny, he knows books. He knows a lot about music. He whenever he can, he is on YouTube or wherever listening to content, but I think he listened to Issues till we got under the Patreon banner, and he listens to whatever we put up on YouTube. What's going on, Bengo? Picture went away. Is it still recording though?
It totally still records. You can just touch it. Go around and touch it. Yeah.
Okay.
He knew me. He was talking straight to me
Yeah.
and knew all my stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he knew all the deep tracks from old podcasts. And
Yeah.
he's very well read, well spoken.
Nowhere Man and a Whiskey Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, he's a guy I've run into probably, going on 30 times now and talked to.
Yes, thank you.
And he's one time, I know he was going through some sort of chemo or cancer treatment, and once I ran into him that day and he started bitching, and then he stopped himself and moved on. And I was like, wow, this guy, for a guy who enjoys the recreational drugs out in the cold and the warm, and he never complains about being broke or any of that. He just
That's definitely. As scary as the initial hug might have been, because the depths of filth on this man are beyond words.
Yeah, I've considered on a Sunday bringing him up to the house, letting him do laundry and getting all washed up and everything before my wife gets home. But I think it would. Danny uses dirt like somebody sits in a wheelchair with their paw
Yeah,
out.
it would be like washing up a clown before the circus. It's not going to sell a lot of tickets.
Right.
It look real nice.
Right.
But he's definitely a dude I would hang out with.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of like Jeremy, the guy in South Dakota that drove out
Mm-hmm.
that I had couch surfed with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, finally we hung out with a normal person after
Right.
the show.
This one day I was driving around with Delaney, and she owed me money, so I confiscated her piggy bank and went and dumped it all into a thing. And I would just hand out change or use change for everything. But there was a guy who had a sign that says, "We'll take verbal abuse for spare change," and he was there with a friend and a dog. So I drove around the corner with Delaney, and then I went up and I go, "Here, you ugly fucks," and I tossed some coins and I go, "Your dog stinks and you guys are jerks," or whatever. And we all laughed. It was, but that's how Danny's on the street corner, and he has fun while he's what did he say, flying the sign.
Yeah, no, I forget what. At some point I did. I go, I'll do a celebrity endorsement, and I went out with the sign.
Up here. Right by the rock. Right by the rock.
It's my first day.
You gotta wait for him. Tell him how it goes, Danny.
You got nothing, and then Andy took over with the sign.
And I tried to get, shame him into tipping.
Please help me, please, brother. Come on, I'm out of dental floss. I'm not high, come on. I'm a little bit high, and you're a little too shy. Come on. I know you're in the middle lane, but you could get out and give me a 5-ski. Don't sing Taylor Swift and ignore me, honey pants. I'm broke.
Yeah, Andy went out with all the personality, and then Bingo went out and tried the sex appeal.
I think she tried the sex appeal that she did at car washes when she was a high school cheerleader.
Right.
Some of the shine is off of the dime.
No one made a penny, but I got someone's name, so I think I won.
Look at these mows. Look at these mows. The window's open. My goodness, I have change for 100. You have no cash? What about a quarter? I like quarters.
You got any pharmaceuticals?
I like quarters. Hey, I what about your fanny pack? I'm into fanny pack.
Yeah, Venmo.
Venmo? What's your name? Todd. My name's Bingo. I'll take your name. Thank you. I like my outfit too. I like your name. Thank you. Bye-bye. I got a name. Todd.
Yeah, it was fun watching people react to us. Danny obviously has the look down.
Well, you had your riff on. I was just more worried about people being offended or audio issues, and then that guy did show up, another homeless guy that saw us filming and probably thought we're doing some bum fights shit.
Yeah, he was a new bum. He just
With
had
nice teeth.
He had nice teeth. He had his hair wasn't filthy, and he had a garbage bag. And so, if I just got kicked out of my house and walked up the street, that's how I would look. This guy didn't have any street cred, no filth in his fingers, and he was offended that we were mocking his job.
It's not funny. I understand it's comedy, but it's not funny. It's embarrassing. I mean, you don't know what it's like sitting out there now. Well, yeah, I do. I just did it for 5 minutes. It was embarrassing.
Yeah. Just because we have a few dollars in our pocket doesn't make it any less humbling to stand there flying a sign that says anything helps.
I remember you had a bit once about, I think it's just something you slid in, I think, when dropping off the raccoon or something, but pulling up at the stoplight, and I have to have my aviator shades on because that's the only way you can make, like, that way you can read the guy's sign without making eye contact.
Yeah.
There's something about that.
Yeah. And I guess Danny is, if you want to help the homeless, maybe just help one guy and do what you can.
That's what I always did in L.A. I had Marcus at the 7-Eleven down there at Curson, from Oklahoma, Lawton, Oklahoma.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
and I mean, I don't have time to lot out the money. I got to trust that Danny will get what he wants with the 50 I gave him. Won't spend it on whatever, but he probably didn't go into Market of Choice and get cheesecake and milk. He didn't get on the phone to call a cheesecake dealer to come meet him at the corner. But I like to, when I see Danny shuffling out, like he sleeps at a church frequently, which I think I don't know if it's his regular spot, but he sleeps at this church. He says, I would catch him on Sunday, seeing him, and he goes, well, I get woke up early because the preacher will come and roust him or whatever. So I'll see him getting up and packing up his shit, and then I'll go grab breakfast at a store, and I'll just add extra. So I'll pull up and go, hey, this is the house of the Lord. You're not supposed to be here. And then, like he did to me with the flowers, I get him to jump and go,
Yeah.
all right, here's some breakfast.
I hope because at some point we thought we were filming or not, because the fucking camera, I fucking hate
there is one section that runs 45 minutes. So I think that was all running. But when I went behind Danny goes, let me handle this when that guy was yelling at us. And he alpha wolfed the other beta hobos. He alphaed him out of there. He stood there, gave him his opinion, and then Danny retorted, and then the guy ended up walking off. But Danny goes, tape all of this, and I don't think I got that. I was right behind his head, and anyway. But it was nice.
Record has a red button when you're recording and a red button when you stop.
Yeah,
one's small and one's large. So, but you guys were swapping molestation stories. He got molested by Kiwanis.
By the Kiwanis, yeah. I didn't get involved with the big organization. I just went.
That's when I noticed, that it wasn't actually recording. So I think we missed a lot of that. But
yeah,
I got it all. I got everything.
Hopefully this thing has decent enough audio.
But I was close. I was right up there.
All right, good.
See, that's the funny thing is him and I have not swapped our molestation stories.
Oh man, yeah, we'll save that. Well, okay, go ahead. No, you know mine, so let's hear yours.
Kiwanis Club.
Oh man.
Young Kiwanis in Memphis, Tennessee.
You were
no bullshit.
You must have been asking for it. That's a well-known homosexual group.
Are you serious?
Oh, I'm kidding. I don't know. No.
No, that was the thing.
No,
is
you're
like,
a kid, man.
No, but there was no lawsuit. When they did the Boy Scout lawsuit, it was just like, I wanted to check. Like, where's my check? Okay, so like the people that diddled us as kids, one of them was a city councilor, the other one was a Memphis city cop, right? And so the Memphis city cop, I only remember him as Big John, but he winds up, when the whole story comes out, he kills his wife, he kills his kid, winds up in fucking 201 Poplar, the jail there, and then literally he kills himself in prison. My only regret, because I was about 12, 13 at the time, and I was locked up the first time at 11 years old. I wish I'd have committed a crime bad enough to where I could have been in the cell right there next to him when he offed himself. I just.
Would you have jacked off, or
probably. That's Grady Frisbee and Norman Blackley and Big John. And like, no, they would take us to the top of the Peabody Hotel and literally diddle us. I mean, they would stand us up in front of a room of 12 guys and just be like, they'd have their pick of the litter. And then I can go even darker and weirder.
Good. And then the wolf story.
Oh yeah. Which sounds like, I mean, when I told it on Issues with Andy, it felt like, you know, nobody's gonna believe this, but yeah, no, 2 fucking wolves and me and a hobo saved a dog and a woman.
Yeah.
I thought him and I were gonna have a very special night. Again, I know y'all's comedy. He buys me breakfast, sees me over down the street, right by a church. And so I wind up wandering down to the corner store, you know. Andy runs into me again. And we're sitting out. I have my beer. I got a cigarette. I've got good breakfast. All of a sudden, these 2 fucking wolves coming out of the
I gotta light
alleyway,
this.
chasing this little old lady and her little dog. And I'm like, I'm standing right next to the right person for this fucking scenario to happen. We're gonna witness something beautiful. This cocksucker fucking takes off down the street, chasing out, trying to scare the dogs away. Scares them away. And of course, he takes off down the street.
You came out like a hero too.
He takes off down the street, and I'm just like, oh fuck! Now I can't not be involved, you know. And so I chase off after Andy. We scare the dogs away. They run down the alleyway, back down the alleyway, and this dumb cunt, she literally keeps walking down the same fucking sidewalk. And again, these are fucking wolves. The dogs start tracking. And lady, cross the fucking... I'm screaming. Andy goes back over. I go back over. And we're fucking scooting these things. Go that way, dogs. Go that way. Lady, run away. Right now. Because these wolves are fucking tracked. Apologies, my adrenaline's fucking flowing right now. I'm fucking so stoked.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
Yeah, when you have a story that sounds like bullshit, you only tell it if the other guy's there to confirm it.
Yeah. Well, Danny confirmed it, and yeah, from his angle, I took off across traffic as though I was a cop, and I saw an unarmed black suspect. It was
It's he could have a podcast. I was thinking that the whole time because he just fucking the camera loves him.
He's when my bike got stolen, I went to him like Huggy Bear to go, hey, you know, do you know of a crew working my area? And he said he'd make some inquiries. And then I saw him again, and I went and I showed a picture of my bike to him, and also this other guy who I think might have ran the crew that stole my bike, because that guy got real quiet and said, I ain't seen it, and weird. But we went when Danny goes, well, there might be a crew up here. So I went and skulked around empty homeless camps looking for my bike with him one day. And when he lost it, I saw on Facebook his cat was missing. I picked him up and we drove around looking for his cat.
Yeah, that's when the surly kid, nouveau poor guy came up with a lot of opinions about us filming homeless people. Like, they go, they're friends.
Yeah, and you don't look that homeless except for the garbage bag around your head. You know, it's like a Santa sack of okay, well. But he goes, I've had cars like that, and I wanted to say, what do you think of those
dope fiends?
What do you think of those Santa Fe's? We've been looking at those Santa Fe's.
Because I've had all this. I've had jobs. I've had cars.
Yeah, he was just an angry dope fiend, and I could be that way too, but I just do the drugs and.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm an addict too, and I'm pretty good at it. Thanks very much. Good morning. Yeah, he was more angry that we were actually out spinning the signs.
Yeah. Well,
that's homeless.
That's the competition. Danny doesn't care for the accordion. He told me they don't even play the accordion. It's just they just have a speaker. Oh, really? Yes, because I was enjoying it and thinking. And goes, no, he told me this other guy in a wheelchair is a fraud. You know, he gives me the inside scoop, or maybe he just doesn't want me tipping others.
I know. I immediately wanted to go, hey, let's go to a quieter place because we're out in traffic and in pretty heavy wind. But it's weird because I didn't want to. I didn't want him in the car because of the level of filth.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was a rental that I'd been smoking in, and I'm like, oh, that would have gotten rid of any traces of cigarettes.
Yeah, that would be good.
For quite a while, he had one of my Nature Jack shirts.
Yeah, I asked him about it.
And I think it rotted off or got misplaced or something. But he doesn't do laundry a lot. So if he has your shirt on,
who does your art? Oh, you dropped Brett Brock's
Yeah,
name,
you
too.
do Brett Brock. Yeah.
Who does your art? It always reminds me of Sean Rouse.
Yeah,
And I don't know what he meant by that, but I just.
I think I took it to mean he. Maybe from the Unbookables, there was the Sean Rouse artwork, and I think Brett Brock did a few pictures of Rouse, so maybe he saw those.
Yeah.
But he actually wore Brett Brock's naked ass on his shirt for a while because Brett Brock drew his own ass from the mirror.
Oh, for your ass?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
If he didn't have you send pictures.
Yeah, I should have sent him
Not
pictures.
falling for that again.
Here's a frontal view.
But it was that. I hope that we get enough footage to put this together. It was an afternoon with Hobo Danny. Please hold. So, I'll repeat. I hope you enjoy this afternoon with Hobo Danny as best as we can get off 2 cameras.
Hobo Danny and his crew.
Amaze and Cheryl. Cheryl?
I think it.
Cheryl.
Yeah, and the other two.
And
I don't know what
Todd,
she. Cat.
And Todd, the guy's name that Bingo got.
And
Life was the cat's name.
Life was the cat, and the one dude was sitting there. He painted a fallen little tree pole. He was painting that with some sort of tar, and cut the can in half. And then he was doing artwork, and she was doing color by numbers on the thing. So people who are out in the streets find hobbies.
Tweakers are creative people.
Yeah,
and they see detail.
Right, it's sort of like Slab City when you throw something down. They're seeing multiple purposes for that thing, and I see it as a 10-cent refund, and they see it as a bird feeder or whatever the ashtray. And then they also were using. He had the guy who was doing the art had a huge blowtorch.
Yeah,
it was firing up.
Yeah, they both had explosives of some kind.
Yeah, Danny brought out a Looney Tunes firecracker to show us. And Doug goes, no, that's okay.
See, I don't like things that blow up.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Oh, no, he was going to recreate the Becker thing.
Oh, yeah.
Becker would take a can of propane in his sleeve when we'd go out to do a show in the old days with kids. Had a tube of PVC threaded through to the other sleeve. So he'd wait for a girl to pull out his cigarette and he'd go, oh, do you want a light? And he'd have a lighter in this hand and then squeeze the propane on the other side so it would blow out and make a flame a foot long. And he had tried to recreate that and blew himself up.
I took a tube, run the tube up in my jacket, right? So the can starts leaking inside of the jacket. I got the flame going from my hand, wind up moving just the right way. A wisp of gas blows myself up like this, and then so I go in like a dumbass, and it looks like I blew my balls, and I'm running down this alleyway right down here, just from waist to fucking top of the head. How I still have hair is beyond me.
Hobo Pryor.
Hobo Pryor.
If you want to,
Fuck are you on fire?
you can look me up. I'm considered a domestic terrorist for explosives.
So what?
I think we got that on camera. All
Uh-huh.
right. Well, you know what? Cobble it together as best you can, Alex. We're out, and let's all right.
Good.
That's enough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette.
Okay, you want me to
Then
turn
we
this
can
down?
check in and
Yeah,
then
I'm
find
gonna-
a new location and try to do.
I'm gonna call Alex and tell him send me directions on how to join the cloud.
Then I can go even darker and weirder, but It's great.
Would you open for us when we come to Eugene in September? 10 minutes? No,
You have
5, just 4 minutes.
You have no idea.
4 minutes of Hobo Danny's rants. Or not rants, just whatever you find.
I'll wind up getting the light and having a fucking. You're gonna have to pull out the cane and get me off.
We'll bring a blow dart and a reasonable amount of fentanyl. You know, if you go long, you'll wake up in the alley and it'll all be a fever dream, sir.